Illinois. Do a lot of properties in the Flossmoor, Homewood area. Talked about I saw another play a few days ago over in Glenwood that was the HF Schools. This one's located in Flossmoor, and in a particular subdivision where we've done a lot of properties. Even some of the comps that are being pulled up are properties our investors bought, fixed up, and sold. So let's dive into this property that's located in Flossmoor. The address of the property is 918 Burns Avenue, Flossmoor, Illinois. It's a two-story brick. I call it a Georgian or colonial style house. It's got a one-car garage, 3 beds, 2.5 baths. This one's listed at $144,900. So my plan is making an offer on this property. I'd like to be able to try to pick this up for about $130,000. That's where this is going to make sense. It's going to end up having about a $100,000 spread if I pick it up for $100,000. So let's take a look at some of the comps that are in the area. So we kind of know what we're working with. We've got square footage of 1,970 square feet. We are a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We've got a 1-car garage. We're a 2-story. We were built in 1941. So we kind of know what we're looking at. We do have a basement with this property. So let's kind of go down to some of the comps. Since we're located on Burns, let's take a look at, here's a property that we just, one of our investors bought, fixed up, and sold. A little bit smaller of a house than the subject property, frame style house. Not really as good of a comp. Another one on Braemar, we just recently flipped that property as well. Oops, let's take a quick peek. There's a property that's on Dundee. This is a few blocks over from the subject property. Let's take a look at this. This one here is kind of a Cape Cod style house. Square footage is a little bit bigger. It says motivated seller. Let's take a quick little peek at the inside. It's nice and tidy. It's not recently updated, maybe some new appliances, but it looks like older cabinets and some older tile, but in older vanities. But overall, I mean, a pretty good, clean property. And this one ended up being a 2011 square feet. It was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 2-story, built in 1955. And it took 58 days to cycle through days on market. So this one, to me, I'm going to leave that as a comp for the subject property. Let's take a look at Gordon here. This is another property located very close to the subject property. Now, this property was recently renovated. So this one here, you can see that they've gone in and done some of the stylish tile and some of those things. Again, this one is 2,074 square feet. The sales price was $260,000, 4 beds, 1 bath, 2-car garage, built in 1948, and its days on market was 25 days. So a rather quick sale at $260,000. Now, again, I don't think the subject property is as good as that particular house. We do have to add and subtract a little bit. We only have a 1-car garage. That one has a 2-car garage. So we've got to make some adjustments for that. How much would I adjust? Probably around $10,000 right off of that, just for that, and the square footage is a little bit larger. So we want to start adding and subtracting here. So we've got another property that's on Dundee. This is very close to the subject property. Similar design and style. A lot of brick on the house, more of like, I don't know if I'd call this Tudor, but very similar. Nice and clean and tidy on the inside, but not totally updated by any means. This one sold for $239,000. This one is 1,706 square feet, so a little bit smaller than us. Sold for $239,000, 3 beds, 2 baths, had a 2-car garage, and was built in 1956. And it took 126 days to get this property sold. So again, another comp that I probably want to use for our purposes. We want to be using something identical to this. So let's take another quick peek, find another comp. Let's look at something that may be under contract in the subdivision. That's always helpful to just see something that's similar to the subject but under contract. And I'm just looking to see if there's anything. This one's a tri-level. We've this one at 1004 Braemar. Let's take a quick peek at this. Okay, so this property is pretty darn nice on the inside. I would say that it's not somebody that bought the property to fix it up and sell it. Somebody that lives there, did some renovation over the years recently, did a nice job, looks very, very high quality. Let's drill down and see what this property looks like. 2,047 square feet. Sold for $235. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, 1957 built, and 52 days on market. All right, so we kind of have like a good comp analysis on this property. Based on the comps that I looked at for our subject property, our 918 Burns Avenue in Flossmoor, I'd like to be able to purchase this property. I'd like to be able to purchase this property for around $140,000, or I'm sorry, $130,000 as a buy price. And I think on a property like this, based on the square footage and the what it would need to rehab the house. Now, again, I'm looking at photos, so I don't have an exact renovation scope on the property. But looking at this particular home, I'm thinking we're going to have probably around $48K in renovation. So not a major ordeal, but enough that we're going to be spending some time. It's like the kitchen is smaller, so I have less cabinet count. So that kind of works in our favor. And I'm thinking that this property is going to be worth right around $230K. So we buy it for $130K. We put $48K in renovation, and the home is worth $230K. That's leaving with that would leave an investor, after all expenses, a net profit of around $32,000 to $35,000. So that, to me, is a pretty darn good deal and something that our investors could go after. We could look at this as a rental property as well, but I really am looking at this as a flip. It's in a very, very hot market. So an area where I want our investors to be in to buy, fix, and sell. But it could be used as a rental as well. So, but as always, check out our website, chaseforeclosure.com, and don't ever hesitate to give me a call. And I'll have the link below with all the comps and the analysis of this property at 918 Burns Avenue. Thanks.